Okay, this is the homework check for 4th grade that's working through the quarter 2 material, and we're going to start with the Tuesday section. We have to write 327,108 in each form, so we're going to start with word form, and we're going to look at the thousands period first. That's these 3 digits, and we write exactly how we would say that out loud. So 327. Remember 20-7 because that portion is between 21 and 99. So even if we have part of a bigger number that uses the 21 through 99, we do have to use the hyphen. Now let's move on. The comma stands for thousand. And you get to actually put a comma after the word thousand. Then we move on to the units period, 108. That's exactly what we spell, 108. In expanded form, let's look at each digit. We start with what the 3 is worth. It's in the hundred thousands place. So that's like copying down the 3, then making everything else zeros, okay? So we start with 300,000 plus, okay, now let's look at the 7. I'm sorry, the 2. We copy it down, change everything else to zeros. So that's plus 20,000 plus, you can see now that we are ready for the 7. And that is worth 7,000 plus, now we're ready for the 1. It's in the hundreds place, so it's worth 100. We skipped the 0. We don't have to put plus 0. Let's look at the 8 plus 8. So there's the correct expanded form. Sandra purchased 55,387 small rocks to put in a flower bed. If 6,499 rocks fell out of the truck on the way home, how many rocks did she have left? So we start off with 55,387 and we lose some. They fell out of the truck. So here we go. We do subtraction. 7 minus 9 we need to borrow. Borrow from the 8, it becomes a 7. Now we're looking at 17 minus 9. That's 8. Now we have 7 minus 9. We need to borrow again. Now we have 17 minus 9 again, and that's 8. 2 minus 4, we need to borrow. Now we're looking at 12 minus 4, and that's 8. 4 minus 6, we need to borrow. 14 minus 6 is 8, and then we bring the 4 straight down. So we look back at the question. How many rocks did she have left? 48,888 rocks. Now find the product. So factor times factor equals the product. So what we're going to do is the partial product method. We're going to break this down, 344. We're going to break apart the 88 into 80 and 8, okay? So the first problem we will do is 344 times 80. Then we'll also do 344 times 8. And then we'll add these partial products together. So let's work on this one first. Let's drop down the 0. You do the rest of the problem pretending that it's not there. 8 times 4, 32. 8 times 4 is 32 again, but plus 3, 35. 8 times 3 is 24. Plus 3, 27. We do our 1, 2, 3 comma trick. So there's a partial product. We're still not finished. Now look, this is actually going to be the same answer without the 0. Do you see why? Because we're just dealing with the 8. So I already know, and my comma will be in a different place. I just copied the answer, I left off the 0. So now my 2 partial products, we're going to add those together. And here we go. 0 plus 2 is 2. 2 and 5 is 7. 5 and 7 is 12. 7 and 2 and 1 is 10. And 2 and 1 is 3. So our final answer, I'm going to circle since I have so many problems here. I'm going to circle the final answer of 30,272. A coral reef has 187 groups of fish. In each group, there are 21 fish. Okay, got to notice that. About how many fish live in the coral reef. When you see the word about, it gives you permission to estimate, and estimate means round. So we're going to start by rounding off the 187, and since it goes all the way to the hundreds place, that's what we're going to round to. The 8 is big enough to round the 1 up to a 2, so 200. And then 21, of course, we'll round it to tens. The 1 is not high enough, so this will stay at 20. And so what we're going to do, we could write down 20 200 times, or 200 down 20 times and add it up, but that would take so long. So let's just multiply. And we know this has lots of zeros, but if we will just let that 1 0 hang off on the bottom number, bring it straight down. Now we're going to pretend like it's not there. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 2 is 4. And so this is our estimated answer. It says about how many fish live in the coral reef. So we're going to say about 4,000 fish. And that is our final estimated answer. All right, find the greatest common factor, GCF, of 24 and 16. So we think factor. We're going to be thinking of multiplication facts. See that? So we're going to start, let's do 24, and we start with 1 times 24 is 24. 2 times 12. How about 3 times 8 and 4 times 6? And we don't have a 5. And then we start again with the 6, and we go up this side. So when we list them, we're going to go down this column and up this side and list them in order from least to greatest. So I start with 1, 2, 3, 4. Then I skip to 6, 8, 12, 24. Now we're going to do the same thing for the 16. 1 times 16 is 16. 2 times 8 is 16. We don't have a 3 times anything that would equal 16, but 4 times 4 equals 16. And we don't have a 5 times anything, or a 6 times anything, or a 7 times anything. So now we've made it back up to the 8. So now we're going to list these going down and then coming back up this side. We do not have to list the 4 twice though, okay? So we start with 1, 2, 4, 8, 16. Now I get to pick the greatest one that is in common, that's common to both of these lists. So let's see. If I start looking at 16, it's not in the other list. But then I look 8, it is in the other list. So the greatest common factor, the answer here is 8. All right, find an equivalent fraction for each fraction below. We have talked and we've got a little trick. All we have to do is double both, and it's going to be equivalent. And we know double means times 2. But you have to do that to the numerator and the denominator. Now I want you to look at this. This is important. 2 halves really equals 1. So we're doing 1/5 times 1. And we're going to get something that equals 1/5, okay? Because 2 halves is the same as 1 whole. But it's going to be expressed differently. So now we're going to go across the top. 1 times 2 is 2. 5 times 2 is 10. So here is a fraction that is equivalent to 1/5. We've got 2/10. And we could keep going and going and going. It just says find an equivalent fraction for each fraction below. Sometimes it'll say find 2 equivalent fractions. But this time we only needed the 1. Okay? And we know what we're really doing. We're really multiplying this times 1 but in a different form. So if we double both of these, remember 2 over 2 still equals 1. 2 times 2 is 4, and 3 times 2 is 6. So 2/3 is the same as, or equivalent to, 4/6. All right, now rewrite the mixed number as an improper fraction. Usually we start with the improper fraction and we have to move it back to a mixed number. But I want you to see how this works. All right, we're going to see how many thirds 1 whole and 2/3 would really be, okay? So I'm going to show you, here's 1 whole, and I'm going to put dots in it so you can see I'm talking about the whole thing. But on this next one, I only get to color in 2 of the thirds. Do you see that? 2 of the thirds. Now I'm going to count up how many thirds there are all together. Well, over here there are 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5. We have 5 thirds. It's like saying 5 pieces, and the size of the pieces are thirds. So this is another way to look at it. Once you understand what it really means, then you can take some shortcuts. And you start right here with your denominator and say 3 times 1 is 3, then plus 2 is 5. Pretty cool. The denominator stays the same. That's just the size of the pieces, and we did not change the size of the pieces. We didn't chop them in half or anything like that. They are still thirds. Okay, so now let's try this one. And let's start with a trick. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is what? 9. And the denominator stays the same. So there it is as an improper fraction. What it would look like if we drew it out, and we're drawing fourths, we have to have 2 wholes. We're talking about all of these pieces. And then just 1/4 of the last whole. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 fourths. And this really does show that 9 fourths equals 2 wholes and 1/4 of another one. All right, now we're going to start adding and subtracting fractions. Here's where it gets fun. And I know they write them vertically. They write them horizontally, but we need to write them vertically. Sometimes in addition, that's not necessary, but sometimes they'll give you a mixed number plus a whole number, and it just helps to keep everything lined up if we write it vertically. What we're going to do, we'll put our fractions in one column, see here, and our whole numbers on the other side. And we always start with the fraction side. So we have 2/5 plus 4/5. Now remember, fifths are the size of the pieces. So I could say 2 pieces plus 4 pieces equals 6 pieces. And the pieces are fifths. Okay? Now 3 wholes plus 1 whole is 4 wholes. Now, here's the problem. This 6/5 is an improper fraction, which means we can pull another whole out of there. And if we've got fifths, we need 5/5 to make 1 whole. Think about if we were talking about pizzas, okay? So if I pull another whole out of the 6/5, I'm taking away 5/5 out of this and adding it to our 4. So we have 1 more whole. We don't have 4 now. We have 5. But I took 5/5 away. See, that was my 1 whole that I added on. And 6/5 minus 5/5 would leave us with 1/5. Now to show you in pictures what that would look like, I have to draw the top number. And it was 3 wholes. And they were divided into fifths. So I'll do my best. Let's see. Skinny Y, 3, 4, 5. So there's 3 wholes that are divided into fifths, and I'm talking about all of them. And the last one, I'm just going to draw 2, or I'm going to spot in just 2 of those. So you can see here I had 5/5, here I had 5/5, here I had 5/5, and then I had 2/5. So that's pretty cool. Now what I have to do is add 1 4/5 to that. So I'm going to add another whole, and again it's still fifths, and I get to add 4/5 to this. So watch, this gives me 3 of them, but I had to add 4, so I'm going to draw another one, and I only get to add 1 that time because I added 3 and there's 4. So now it's easy to see I've got 5 holes and 1/5 of another one. Okay, now let's practice subtracting. Again, they did it horizontally. We're going to do it vertically. But just like in subtraction with whole numbers, when you're subtracting with mixed numbers and fractions, you may have to borrow. So remember, 1/3, that's like saying 1 piece, take away 2 pieces. Can't do it if all you've got is 1 piece. So what we're going to do is borrow a whole, and that'll leave us with 2 holes here. And a whole in thirds is 3/3. I'm going to add that 3/3 that I just took and borrowed here over to the 1/3. So 3/3 plus the 1/3 I already had gives me 4/3. Now I can subtract. So we're really looking at 4/3 here, okay? 4/3 minus 2/3. That's like saying 4 pieces minus 2 pieces still equals 2 pieces. The size of the pieces they are thirds. And 2 minus 1 is 1. Now let's check it out and see if it works if we draw. So we draw what we started with, 3 holes. And they are in thirds this time. We've got them all, so 3 holes. And just 1/3 of another hole. That was really bad, but okay. There's my other piece. There's my 1/3. That looks more even. Now I have to take away what it tells me to take away. I have to go ahead and mark off a hole, and then 2 of the thirds. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that one, and then 1 more of these. And what I have left is right here. It's 1. Maybe change colors so you can see me count these. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And look, this truly is 1 whole and 2/3 of the other whole. So that's totally awesome. It works. And that's it for today.